What's up, everybody? My name is Greg. Welcome to the channel. So, a few weeks ago, Thunder Wizard, on one of his live streams, he was talking about meditation and how yogis for lots of many years have been doing meditations where they touch their index fingers with their thumbs, and the index fingers represent the ether element, and the thumbs represent the earth element. So the ether is the highest manifestation of energy. It's the least dense energy, and the earth is the most dense energy. So you're, in a sense, grounding. You're grounding all the other elements within that sandwich. So yogis do that, and they encourage other people to do that. And I've been doing that too for about ever since I started yoga meditation 24 years ago, 95, yeah. So I've been always doing it like that too. And when I finish meditation, you get into this very dreamy kind of a state. You feel this altered. You get into this altered state of mind. It's more of a light type of energy. It represents that ether energy, even though at the same time you feel grounded on the earth. But he was suggesting, if you really want to get into deep meditation, to touch the middle fingers to the thumbs, and the middle fingers represent the air element, and the air element sits in the west with the planet Saturn. So Saturn really represents this patience. Saturn is the slowest moving planet. It represents this heavy gravity because it's a huge planet too, and it's really giving you that grounding energy at the same time that the thumbs are giving you that earth grounding energy too. And this represents owning up to your karma too, the energy of Saturn. It is the judge. So it represents the air element, which sits in the west. And air is really represents the terrestrial gods. They are the gods of time and space. So they're always here with us. They are the closest gods to us, other than the celestial gods who are out there, in the other dimension, and the ascended masters too. The terrestrial gods are down here on Earth with us, and you could feel them through the wind, and through the plants and the animals, and through nature. They're always here with us. So I started trying to do that. Well, I started doing that ever since I heard him say that. And sure enough, it's a lot more grounding, and it brings me a lot more patience. It really, it helps me to concentrate. There's a lot of concentration with the planet Saturn too. It's because Saturn is the judge. Saturn is really perceptive. Saturn is really knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. You can't. Saturn is that last planet in the solar system in Vedic astrology, where he won't release you until he knows that you've really learned your lessons, whether he can see that you've learned, and then he releases you. He's a hard judge, a realistic, straight up, ruthless judge. But he's not a tyrant. He's not there to torture you, but he has the patience to wait as many lifetimes as it takes for you to learn certain lessons about the human incarnation before you can be released out of these physical lives and move on to the next phase. So I started doing that, and last night I was doing it facing my direction as I do my mantra, and I had another thought going on. So I face the west direction, which is I do my mantra to Mars, and my Mars sits in the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. So I face the west direction already. So I started thinking about, okay, what my Mars in Vedic astrology. But by the way, that's I'm talking about Thunder Wizard Astrology, which is a form of Vedic astrology. If anybody wants a reading, just go to greg.thunderwizard.com, and I could give you a mantra for you based on your own personal chart also. But I was thinking about, I'm facing my Mars, which is connected to this is one thing that I give you. It's connected to one of your devatas, either your Dharma devata, your Palana devata, or your Ishta devata. These are planets that are connected to your higher self, your lower self, and your middle self. These are three parts of every human being within us. We have the conscious self, the middle self. That's who we are right now as I'm speaking. We got the unconscious, things that we're not aware of, that really represents that lower part of us, that navel chakra. And we got the higher self. The higher self is connected out there to the celestial gods, to all higher energy. And it's giving that advice, going to the navel chakra, and then the navel's bringing it to our conscious awareness. So one of the mantra helps you align these three parts of yourself. And so I'm thinking about as I'm facing the west, I'm thinking about my Dharma Devata. So the mantra is connected to either one of those Devatas. But for the most part, the Thunder astrologers, myself, or any other ones, well, I don't know about the other ones, but for the most part, yeah, we are taught by the Thunder Wizard that most of the mantras you want to give are connected to the Dharma Devata. But depending on your chart too, it might be another Devata too. But the Dharma Devata is connected to the unconscious. And so I was thinking about, okay, so I'm facing the west, and I'm connected to my Dharma Devata. So the Dharma Devata is connected to the unconscious. The unconscious is sitting there in the southwest direction, which is right to my left. So I'm going to start paying more attention. I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to that direction too, as I'm doing my mantra. I thought about this kind of after I finished my mantra, and I was just facing the direction and feeling the energy that I just summoned. I was thinking about that. It's like, okay, that's one thing I could do when I do meditation afterwards or before mantra. And also I was thinking, okay, I'm facing the Mars, and what is Mars aspecting in my chart or in everyone's chart? Wherever Mars sits in anybody's chart, it's always aspecting the 4th, the 7th, and the 8th houses from it. So I was thinking, okay, the 4th house from my Mars is the sign of Aries, and there's no planets in it. And what is lording the sign of Aries? It's the planet Mars. Okay, so I'm already facing the direction of the west, facing my Mars, which is in Capricorn. So that's one direction I can still think about. I could think about my 10th house. My 10th house is about career. It's about my reputation. It's about recognition from other people. It's about, going out there and doing hard work. It's originally ruled by Capricorn, the 10th house. So, and I'm facing Capricorn too already, so I'm going to go, okay, there's a good connection right there. And Aries is all about this energy, leadership. It's about courage and really explaining, speaking your mind, being a leader, being really in control of your own life, your own energy. And then it's aspecting the 7th house from where it sits, and that is the sign of Cancer. And I got Ketu in Cancer. So Ketu is in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is lorded over by the moon. So the moon sits in the northwest. So the northwest is right over to my right here too. So I'm like, okay. And Ketu represents leaving the physical incarnation. Ketu is ready to exit. Ketu feels like whatever house he is sitting in, he's already mastered that house, so he doesn't want to think about it much. Ketu doesn't have a head, so it's already, it's like I'm comfortable here, but you still incarnated into this life to experience that house, the tail end of that house. And Ketu has no head; it just represents the tail of the snake. So there's that energy of the northwest, which is the ascended masters. And that connection of Ketu wanting to leave the earth, and the northwest being the ascended masters, who were human beings who just left the earth plane, the earth existence. They've lived out their whole, as many lives as they lived to be as a human. So now they're exiting the human realm, and before they really exit for good, they look back at the human beings and they give us guidance. They give us compassionate love. They give us advice if we're willing to be open to hearing it. So there's that connection. It's like, okay, so as I'm doing my mantra, I could give some attention, or a meditation. I can give attention to the northwest also, and the southwest over here. These two directions, the unconscious realm, the home of the ascended masters, the advice from human beings that just left the human plane. And then so it's my K2 is in Cancer, and so Cancer is lorded over by the moon too. So where is my moon? My moon is in the 12th house with Gemini, of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So my moon sits in the north. The north direction is where Mercury is. And the north direction represents the primordial waters. So there's the connection with Cancer there. Cancer is a water sign. So I'm being connected. I still got my hands like this. Saturn. So it's connected to the water. But this is the primordial water. This is the water that's barely manifesting the three-dimensional reality. This is the primordial energy that's coming from from Ginnunga-Greg. From that black void. This is like the Big Bang Theory kind of energy. It's barely coming in to play. So there's that. I can think about my moon in connection to the north direction. So I could feel this. So my Mars is looking at the north also, as well as the other two directions I just talked about. So I could get that more of that energy, that support from the north too, as I'm doing my mantra to Mars. Because Mars is looking at these directions more than the other ones. He's looking at all the directions. All the planets are looking at all directions. But there is this, since I'm facing this direction, Mars is getting that energy from those directions more. It's really looking at them like, this is one of the ways you can get your energy up, get a really good boost, help you open up, help you understand your unconscious. And also the Mars is aspecting the 8th house, and that is the sign of Leo for me, with no planets, and Leo is lorded over by the sun. And my sun also sits in the same house as my moon, Gemini, which is lorded over by Mercury. So I'm bringing in the sun energy too, from the north into Mars is looking at the north too, in terms of, in relation to the sun also. So the sun and the moon are sitting in the north, which is cool too. The sun and the moon, that's the masculine god, the sun, and the feminine goddess, the moon. They're both, balanced right there, from the north. That primordial energy is coming into play. So I'm getting that direction from the north. Mars is also looking at the northwest over here, which is the energy of leaving the human realm. With K2, I got K2 right there with Cancer. So that's where I'm getting that aspect too. So that's pretty cool. Getting the direction of the north is the manifesting, the energy that's barely manifesting into three-dimensional reality. I'm getting the energy of wanting to exit three-dimensional reality. And I'm getting over here the southwest direction of the unconscious based on my Dharma Devata, because Mars sits there. And that's, that's the deep earth energy, where you're going deep into your navel. You're becoming aware of your unconscious blockages, your fears, your quick sparks of emotion that happen really quick, anger or distraction, disturbance, it's usually associated with negative stuff, the unconscious, So I'm becoming aware of that. So just before I did this video, I went into a meditation. I faced my west direction, and I started feeling those directions and really seeing, does this really work? This is something I just thought of last night. And sure enough, yeah, I totally feel a really grounding, higher understanding type of an energy. It's, I really feel like high. I'm really like, woo, this feels good. I feel like really grounded in my body, but I really feel aware of the higher realms too at the same time. So this is some of the things I can help you guys with when if you get a Thunder Astrology reading or a 12 house reading, either one. I can let you know which direction to face and which other directions are being aspected by that planet that you're facing and the deity that you're facing too. This is really going to help you to get even more deeper, This is something I just thought of too. So it's really good to break the monotony when you're just facing one direction. Usually I just pay attention to that direction. You know, Unconsciously, I'm feeling all of the directions at once too, but I'm really paying attention to that one direction. So now I'm gonna start paying attention to these other directions they're all right in front of me too, which is pretty cool too. I got only one on the left. I got the center one right here, which represents both sides of the human being, the feminine, the masculine. So I got one on the left, which represents the left side of the body, one which represents the right side of the brain, the masculine energy. I got the center one, which is pretty much both of them, and I got two directions on my right side, the northwest and the north, which is more of the feminine energy. So I got two of them on the feminine side, which is cool too, especially for a man. We need to become aware of the feminine energy within us to help keep us balanced. And that's really important, especially in this society. Everybody's very exaggerated with the masculinity, especially in this neighborhood where I'm at. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to talk about. If anybody's interested in getting a Thunder Astrology reading, I'll leave a link on the bottom. Just go to greg.thunderwizard.com, and hope you guys have a good one. Peace.